Good morning, mighty companions. I'm going to do a short teaching video on A Course in Miracles, and I'm just going to read out of one of the Miracle Workers magazines the description of A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles is a self-study system of spiritual psychology contained in a 3-volume book. The Course contains a synthesis of the teachings that lie at the core of the world's great religions. Together with sophisticated psychological insight, it emphasizes the practical application of its principles, which focus on forgiveness and thus the transformational potential of the mind. It has touched the lives of millions of people around the world. What it says: there is no separation between God and ourselves, or therefore between us. God is love, eternal and infinite, and all there is. We are God's one creation. God only creates like himself, so we remain as God created us, innocent and whole. Only what God created is real. God did not create pain, death, guilt, or fear. So although they exist in our experience, they are not real. Pain, death, guilt and fear exist in our experience, but they are not real. The Course aims at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. Rather than trying to change external circumstances, the Course teaches us to change our perceptions about the world. The peace of God is reached through the practice of forgiveness. So that's the Course in a nutshell. And it does contain 365 lessons, daily lessons, but you can take longer than a year to do them. I've taken quite a few. And there's a 1200-page text. So I feel to read a little bit from the text with you and maybe give my interpretation. And it's from chapter 14. It's bringing illusions to truth. So I'll start at the beginning. Unless you are guiltless, you cannot know God. It's a big statement, isn't it? Unless you are guiltless, you cannot know God, whose will is that you know him. Therefore you must be guiltless. Wow. So God's will, or love's will, unconditional love, the Tao, divine love, divine mind, divinity, happiness. Its happiness is will, God. God is another word for happiness and peace, love, freedom, joy. So it's God's will, God whose will is that you know him. Therefore you must be guiltless. Yet if you do not accept the necessary conditions for knowing him, you have denied him and do not recognize him, though he is all around you. He cannot be known without his Son, whose guiltlessness is the condition for knowing him. So until we feel whole and innocent and guiltless, which is innocence, we cannot know him. Because our guiltlessness is the condition for knowing him. So this is why the attainment of peace, which is what the Course is all about, and it's a beginning, not an ending. At the end of the book it says, right, this is a beginning, because this is a pointing to the truth. Truth can only be, truth is, so it can only be realised, recognised. You can only have an awareness of who you are. He cannot be known without his Son, whose guiltlessness is the condition for knowing him. Accepting his Son as guilty is denial of the Father so complete that knowledge is swept away from recognition in the very mind where God himself has placed it. So we've denied our source. The Course says that we're still as God created us. You know, that I'm not this personality self, this finite mind, you could call it or they call it in the course, that we have a split mind, an ego, which keeps us away from our true identity. And we're here to undo the ego. If you would but listen and learn how impossible this is, do not endow him with attributes you understand. You made him not, and anything you understand is not of him. So this place that we've made here in this world, which the Course says is ruled by a thought system which is based on fear, is nothing to do with God, as it's saying there. Do not endow him with attributes you understand. You made him not, and anything you understand is not of him. So I had the thought this morning that when we completely realise that we don't know who we are, what we're doing, where we are, then that's a good place to be. So I'm going to carry on with some of the notes I've underlined. So the atonement. Now the atonement is basically realising who you are. It's accepting the correction that you never left God, that you've never separated from God, that you're not a separate, lonely, fearful, mortal person. The atonement does not make holy. You were created holy. It merely brings unholiness to holiness, or what you made to what you are. So my ego self, my personality self, Michelle, is what I made. But what I am, the I am presence, is, the Course says, the Holy Son of God, is eternal, is infinite, is peace and happiness. The bringing together of truth and illusion of the ego to God is the Holy Spirit's only function. Keep not your making from your Father, for hiding it has cost you knowledge of him and of yourselves. Okay. The atonement is so gentle, you need but whisper to it, and all its power will rush to your assistance and support. You are not frail with God beside you, yet without him you are nothing. Ooh, packs punches, the Course, which I like. You know, it's doesn't mince. It's without God I am nothing. You are not frail with God beside you, yet without him you are nothing. The atonement, or the correction, or you could call it awakening, inner peace, you could call it. The atonement offers you God. The gift which you refused is held by him in you. The gift which you refused is held by him in you. His Spirit holds it there for you. God has not left his altar, though his worshipper placed other gods upon it. The temple still is holy, for the presence that dwells within it is holiness. So, it really is a huge case of mistaken identity. I don't know who I am. I think I was born and will die and have this short struggle of a life to fill up with achievements or relationships, but I won't be full until I realise who I am. So in the temple, holiness waits quietly for the return of them that love it. In the temple, holiness waits quietly for the return of them that love it. The presence knows they will return to purity and to grace. The graciousness of God will take them gently in and cover all their sense of pain and loss with the immortal assurance of their Father's love. So it really is like an epic poem, the Course in Miracles, I feel, from Holy Spirit to our Holy Spirit self, from God, from Jesus, to our higher self, to our wisdom. So then we lose all sense of pain and loss because we are returned to our Father's love, which is within us, which is us, because we are one with God. There, fear of death will be replaced with joy of living. For God is life, and they abide in life. Life is as holy as the holiness by which it was created. The presence of holiness lives in everything that lives, for holiness created life, and leaves not what it created holy as itself. So again, ideas do not leave their source. If I'm an idea in the mind of God, and there are only ideas, then I cannot leave my source. I can think I have, I can believe I have. You know, I can have a belief that I'm separate. Could you but realise for a single instant the power of healing that the reflection of God shining in you can bring to all the world, you could not wait to make the mirror of your mind clean, to receive the image of the holiness that heals the world. The image of holiness which shines in your mind is not obscure and will not change. God is no image, and his creations, as part of him, hold him in them in truth. They do not merely reflect truth, for they are truth. Wow. So of course it's saying that you are truth. I am truth. And then we've got the shift to miracles. In heaven, reality is shared and not reflected. By sharing its reflection here, its truth becomes the only perception the Son of God accepts. And thus remembrance of his Father dawns on him, and he can no longer be satisfied with anything but his own reality. You on earth have no conception of limitlessness, for the world you seem to live in is a world of limits. In this world it is not true that anything without order of difficulty can occur. The miracle therefore has a unique function and is motivated by a unique teacher, one who brings the laws of another world to this one. The miracle is the one thing you can do that transcends order, being based not on differences but on equality. So there's no order of difficulties in heaven. There's no levels. Everything's one. It's perfect. So we've come into this world and we have to order it and judge it, and we have, judgments of everything really, don't we? What we like, what we don't like, people we like and don't like, things we like and don't like, things that seem very difficult and things that seem easy. So it says to order is to judge and to arrange by judgment. Therefore it is not your function but the Holy Spirit's. It will seem difficult for you to learn that you have no basis at all for ordering your thoughts. It will be difficult for you to learn that you have no basis at all for ordering your thoughts. This lesson the Holy Spirit teaches by giving you shining examples to show you that your way of ordering is wrong, but that a better way is offered you. So the Course is leading us to see that everyone is the same, that everything is the same, everything is one, and that everything is either love or a call for love. So appearances then, or how somebody perhaps seems to behave towards me, will not have so much effect on me because I see them as myself, really, the same as one. So it'll either respond in a love or a call for love, and however that looks at the time. The power of God and not of you engenders miracles. The miracle itself is but the witness that you have the power of God in you. And the Course says that the miracle is the change of